Hello, everybody. DankestDad here, and I am fresh back from the mailbox with the latest and greatest Universus product. We've got YuYu Hakusho's Dark Tournament, and while I can't say I'm the biggest YuYu Hakusho fan yet, really excited for these cards. So, this is the first booster box that is not My Hero Academia that I've gotten the chance to try out since I've started playing the game. So that's super exciting. Going to introduce a lot more new characters and strategies to standard. And, UVS Games has done a good job of doing other things to get us excited for it as well. So there's going to be a release event next weekend, which is going to be similar to the pre-releases we've had in the past for other products, but with a little twist. If you are a winner of that release event, you get to go on and play in the Wish tournament on March 9th and 10th, which is a webcam event with some amazing prizes. If you win, I know that the prize that I would pick is, getting to meet the team, VIP experience at Gen Con, get a bunch of product, which is pretty sweet. You also can even design your own card. It's very, very cool. So I would check out play.uvsgames.com, take a look at the event finder if you're interested, and find a release event near you. And if you can't, always reach out to your local game store. So also, before I get into these packs, once again, if you are to do that, and it's your first time trying it out, you can use the influencer code AFG or DankestDad, and you can get 50 LP, which will let you get some cool alternate art cards and a few promos from the My Hero Academia sets, which, can help you get started building your collection and playing the game. So these boosters, as I open this up, are a little bit different than the Jetburn ones we had in the last set. Instead of the 11 cards, so the 10 cards and a character, there are going to be 12. And that 12th card is going to be either a time-shifted card or retro reprint. So some of them are cards from the original YuYu Hakusho set that came out in 2019, updated with a modern look. I actually got to draft that set in Florida at the HLC, and it was a super, super fun draft. I got to throw the heck out of everybody with Byakuya, and it was awesome. And, I'm hoping that I open him up today. He's one of the time-shifted characters, so he will be legal for standard. There also are those retro reprints I mentioned that are just a smidgen too powerful, but they've been updated with a really cool alternate art style akin to Secret Rares, and if you're a retro player or just a collector, they're pretty awesome to get a hold of. There also are a few other twists and turns. We have our usual chromes. We also have some nice alternate art cards for 6 in the set. The one that I've seen and I'm most looking forward to is Urameshi Perseverance, and it gets you a sick look at the team. So I'm going to be going pack by pack here, and I know that one thing I'm interested in with this set for draft is seeing what the rarities and distributions are for all of these, if we're following along with the old boxes. So I'll just be preserving the packs as they are. And we have the old tearaway back. That's a new feature. I think we lost this with Jetburn, but it actually seems like it's back with Dark Tournament. So let's go. Big win there. So we've got some cool cards here with Unsettling Aura, Master of 1,000 Faces. Got the younger Kuro on this 45% power. Very, very cool cards. So, not too many of these that are ones I wanted to talk about. But here we have Toya. So this is a character that I know not a ton of people are excited about, but Toya's kit is actually super cool. And the introduction of freezing more broadly to the game, I think, is going to change a lot. So maybe a little bit slept on, but definitely not the most appealing of characters. We also start with a boom, Zeru's Flames. We get our big 7 difficulty 1 check. It's a 5 mid for 7, and after you play an enhance during this attack, your rival commits one non-character card in their stage. So this one is super cool and is a really awesome build around if your deck can support it. On air, I can say just offhand that Mirio is one of the characters that really is exciting with this. Inasa from Jetburn as well, and my old favorite on order, Nezu, can also do some things with this card. It also interacts really nicely with Walk the Dog, which is another ultra rare in the set. And if you can manipulate that cost of Walk the Dog, Nezu can go fetch it. So keep an eye out for that combo, and yeah, happy to start off with a bang. So pack 2, let's see how we're doing here. I know personally, I really am looking forward to playing with Karasu and Genkai myself, and of course experimenting with Elder Toguro. So hopefully I can open up some of those. Spirit Beast Pooh is another really, really good defensive 0 diff. So it looks like Good in Life just continue to get these. So surprising skill going alongside this could go a long way. We have another 0 diff here. So I will talk briefly with this one on Banshee Sword Shriek. So this says response flip after a weapon attack is played, it gets +2 or -1 damage. And interestingly enough, on Chaos these days, after Electric Jolt and 1.3 million volts are now rotating, there's a bit of a gap with what Chaos wants to do. And trying out some deck builds myself, weapons actually could be the way to go. Deception Dagger and Toga's Kit from Jetburn really do offer a lot to that package. And with good 0 diffs like Requesting Assistance Leaving, Banshee Sword Shriek could be a replacement, and +2 damage for a flip is nothing to sneeze at. Right, some Demon Plants, another quick recovery. Body Memorization is a pretty cool tool for Momotoro's character, and Keiko's Support. This is fun. So this is one of the Keiko's cards that we're going to see here, and Keiko's Aid, rather than Support, actually messed me up at the HLC in one of the Gunslinger games. Shane Duckworth trotted that out, and it was the first time I had seen the card. I had not yet played with the original YuYu Hakusho cards, and they hadn't spoiled it yet. So if you ever go to any of the live UVS events, you get to have fun experiences like that, and I can say that it's great to see, the mix of delight and horror in yourself when you see this cool card that you couldn't have played around at all, and a similar look of delight and glee in the designer's eyes when they see what you see. So really, really awesome, and we'll keep an eye out for more Keiko. Acrobatic Leap Kick. And then for our rare, we have Around the World. So this is one of Rinkyu's support pieces that can go fetch Walk the Dog. It's got a discard of momentum though, and a 2-check at a steep cost, but Walk the Dog is quite the card to fetch, haha dog, and yeah, it's a good one. And then we have a Rando Spirit Gun in the retro reprint slot. So I actually have a foil, one of these from the original set that I got in my draft, and this card is incredible. I hope there are a lot of these in packs because it is so cool. The things that you can do with Overhaul, with Elder Chiguro, and Izuku Midoriya 5 are all sick. And if you don't know, the major enhance on this is enhance you may play once per turn, abilities on your character a second time this turn. Only playable if this card is immediately preceded by an attack or face down card. So whether it's discarding a charge attack to draw cards equal to the number of cards in your pool, playing a face down without progressive from your stage twice, randos can make some crazy stuff happen that seemed like it wasn't the intention, and it's totally the intention. They brought this card back so that we can do cool things with it, but it's fun to have a tool that feels like you're breaking the game when you use it, and I am thrilled that this is one of the reprints that they chose. And then we have Karasu. This is the character I wanted to play. 20 health, 7-hander. After you deal damage with an attack, any player with 6 or more foundations destroys 1 foundation. So that's pretty cool. If you are going against a controlling deck, you can stop them from turning the corner by building out their stage. Karasu can just keep chopping it back down to size. So I like him a bit as an aggro character. But you also can try him out as a sort of slower controlling character that is better at managing the game with a smaller stage, maybe taking advantage of assets or other tools that can let him make his checks. So yeah, Karasu, very, very cool character. I've seen an awesome build on Death that someone in my play group yoinked off UVS Ultra, but I'm interested in trying him on Death and Fire as well, but just seems like a very, very cool character. And I also realized I missed the retro reprint in the first pack. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It was Partners in Crime, I believe. Yes, so this was our card here. This one is not one of the reprints, just time shifted. It has commit flip. After you play an attack that shares 2 symbols with your character, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck and put them back in any order. Or discard 1 momentum. Your rival discards 1 momentum. Nice piece of momentum hate. I know I'll be loving that in water. Okie dokie. 2 down, 22 to go. And so far, I can say I'm very happy with the outcome of this. Rando's Spirit Gun and Azeru's Flames are both 6/6 cards, and I know that some certain people in my group are going to be jealous when they see this on Friday. All right. Going back here, Splatter Drop. So this is sort of the theme here for Rinkyu. So it says this is a 3 difficulty attack, 1 mid block, and it's a 1 high for 4. So other than the speed, the numbers are great. But it says if you have 3 or more attacks in your card pool, your rival commits 1 foundation. So Rinkyu's whole thing is forcing your rival to commit and then just walking the dog a bit on him, and it's good. I don't know how many cards like Splatter Drop you need, but turning on Walk the Dog is one of the best things you can do in this set. So we've seen many of these already. So Display of Power is one from the younger Taguro's kit. This has a 1 difficulty foundation, 3 low block with a 5 check, and it has enhanced commit. If each player has 6 or more foundations in their stage, this attack gets +3 damage. So the younger Taguro plays well with building both players out and running cards that deal with the big stage on the other side. And this is one way that you can punch through, especially if you can give an attack throw. So just a repeatable 3 damage on a commit is a pretty massive, and we don't usually see that. So exciting card. Borrowed Energy. This is a cool one for Genkai. When I played that match against Shane Duckworth, he threw me over and over again. And as a Shigaraki player at the time, I did not like that. And Borrowed Energy is one of the cards that lets Genkai just throw out these sick throws. So this has Enhance, Flip if your rival has 1 or more momentum, add the top card of your deck to your momentum. Pretty nice if you're in a bind, need momentum for something like a Broken Psyche. But it also has Enhance, discard 1 momentum. This attack gets +X damage, X equals its block modifier. So if you're running attacks with higher block modifier or ways to put cards with high block modifiers into your momentum, you can just do this as a repeatable damage pump. And if you do this on 2 attacks in 1 combat phase, those 19 to 22 health 7-handers are not going to like it. Armor of the Ape, another cool one. This is Momotaro's main mechanic, which is starting the game with one of these armor cards in his momentum for some added effect. And it also is worth pointing out that it's just starting the game with 1 momentum, which can also have upsides that might not be immediately obvious. So look out for that in deck building. But this says when this card is added to your momentum, add it face up. It's a 5 difficulty, 2 mid block, 4 mid for 5, 3 check. And it also says enhance momentum. Your rival's attack is -1 damage. So just right off the bat, unless your rival has a way to remove this or you choose to spend it, you're going to be taking a little damage off their attacks, making your bulky character a bit harder to kill. And then the attack itself has enhance. This attack is +1 speed and +1 damage for each of your momentum. Notably, this shares air and chaos with Amajiki, and I believe also Kaminari 2 may share 1 or 2 of these. So this can just be a very, very large attack. So lots of potential uses for Armor of the Ape, and it's one of the uncommons that I think most looks very interesting to build with. Elemental Advantage is another one. When I mentioned Toya's kit earlier on, this is a card I was excited for. It's a 2 difficulty foundation, 3 high block with a 5 check on order, void, and water. And it has enhance your turn commit. Freeze 1 rival, air, earth, or fire foundation. So most decks will have at least a significant percentage of their foundations be targetable by this. It'll be a bit of a metagame call, but if that is the case, then this is going to be a very good card. Going 1 foundation for 1 foundation is nice if you're a 7-hander or going wide, or if you have a character like a NASA that can enable this multiple times per turn and keep your opponent's board just tapped down. So one theory craft that I've been working on is Water Inasa, and trying to build at least 2 of these so that you can keep 4 opposing foundation frozen per turn. Very, very cool card. Rare is Mastering the Dragon, enhance remove. If you have lost 4 or more health this turn, draw 2 cards. So remove, draw 2 is pretty good on a 2-diff foundation. 2 low block, just fine, and also a 5 check. But to me at least, the foiling is just sick. Time Shifted card is a massive size. Card gets -2 difficulty if you have more health than your rival. And enhance commit. This attack gets +X damage, X equals 10 minus your hand size. This is a foundation that lets Byakko throw people. It's 5 difficulty. It's so fun. I had a full playset of 4 of these in my draft with Byakko, and it was disgusting. And I'm going to have a full playset of 4 of these in my Byakko deck when I bring it to locals, and it'll be disgusting too. I'm over the moon. And then, last but not least, we have Shishi Wakamuru. I've been practicing, and he's a 7-hander, 21 health with Form Commit, remove 1 momentum from the game. The next card you try to play this turn passes, no check necessary. And enhance once per turn, add 1 card from your hand to your momentum. Cheating progressive is good, and I think that this character will be good cheating progressive. I am excited to try Shishi Wakamuru, probably on Chaos with that weapon package from Toga. So, very, very cool guy. All right, 3 packs down, and as we start to see some more repeat commons and uncommons, I'll be picking up the pace a little bit, but I am a big nerd for this kind of thing, and I love to just talk through all of these cards. So, if you don't like it, you don't have to watch, but if you do, I am glad you indulge me in my guilty pleasure. We get our first look at Kuwabara here in Kind-Hearted. One of the few cards where Kuwabara is in the art and not getting absolutely decimated by some attack. Kuwabara might really be the toughest guy in junior high. He can take a beating. But this card is quite good. It has response. After you build this card, you may reveal the top card of your deck. You may discard 1 card. If you do, draw 1 card. So if you have ways to build this in, this can be very cool, kind of as like an early trick to sort of, move your top card around. That's going to be a theme in this. I think we have a lot more control of our deck in Dark Tournament than we did previously in My Hero Academia. And Kind-Hearted is just another card that enables that. And I love consistency in my game, so that's pretty neat. All right. Got some more of these. Nice art there on resting up. Aura Slam. Got a nice throw there. The beautiful Suzuki himself, just clowning around. Gets all of Suzuki's attacks +1 speed, and as first form commit, discard 2, draw 2. Just seems great. If you're playing Suzuki, this is going to be one of your best tools. Genkai Spirit Shotgun. So when I mentioned manipulating the deck, Genkai is the queen of that. And I think Spirit Shotgun for her is the card that is most emblematic of her design and kit. And kudos to whoever made this one, because I love how it ties all of her themes together. So it's a 5 diff, 3 block mod, which normally is a downside, but for Genkai is good because it works with the enhance on her character and the one that we saw on Borrowed Energy. It's a 3 mid for 5, and first enhance, if this attack matches 2 or more symbols with your character, it gains throw. And hey, Genkai, who's able to manipulate those damage modifier or those damage numbers so well with block modifiers, is able to throw you and make sure that damage sticks. So already very cool. And also as enhance, look at the top 2 cards of your deck and put them back in any order. So kind of like an asymmetric Jiro effect. It's a little weaker because it's just you, but that side of the effect is very powerful. So cool to sort of see that return in a more moderate way on a card, not a character. But this design is amazing, and really shout out to whoever made this. One of my favorites from the set. Now we have Masho Concealment. So this is one of the unique foundations for each team in the Dark Tournament. I have not reached this arc in the anime, but from what I am told, basically each of these characters is a member of one of the teams competing in this tournament. And these unique foundations have a powerful ability with a secondary effect that tends to be a little bit less impactful, but is free upside if your character is a member of the team. So Masho Concealment is 2 difficulty, 3 mid block with a 5 control, and it has response commit. After your rival plays an enhance ability on a foundation, cancel it. We love canceling things. I love canceling things. So, that's already good. And if your character is Team Masho, then this attack gets -1 speed or +1 damage. And that doesn't work while committed, but pretty powerful effect on a 2 difficulty foundation. There's a reason it's unique. And even if you are not a Team Masho character, playing this to have a repeatable cancel is disgusting. And this is another card that goes in that water deck I was talking about. And then back to Byakuya, we have the Tiger Scream from Time Shifted as well. You have 30 or more cards in your discard pile. This attack is -1 difficulty. We love to see it. So 6 difficulty printed would go down to 5 with that condition. 1 mid block, 3 mid for 6 damage. 2 check though. So what's up there? We have Byakuya Enhance, mill 4. This attack gets +X damage. X equals the total printed difficulty of the cards milled this way. So that's a lot of damage. If you are to hit, 2 of those massive sizes in an attack or something like a dangerous hybrid, this easily could hit for 15. Could, if you high roll, hit for like 25. It's not inconceivable. And then it has enhance, flip one of your rival's foundations, which is good. It's also safe. So if your opponent is cheating and has reversals in standard or is playing retro, then they can get you with that, or then you can stop them from getting you with that. And it has stun 1. So I don't know how playable this is in standard, just because a 3 mid attack is difficult to force through. But if this attack connects, your opponent explodes. So I might try to make it work. This is a fun one. And our character is Kurama Yoko Unleashed. So 3 difficulty, 7 hand size, 20 health, 6 check. 3 difficulty on a character. Wonder why that is. Kurama has response, commit, remove 1 character card from your stage. After your rival plays an attack or action, discard it from their card pool and cancel its effects. So Kurama can use his character doubles there as a resource. We've seen that before with Twice and Ectoplasm and Mount Lady 1. But now we see this mechanic returning. And Kurama also has Enhance Your Attack. Your rival adds the top card of their deck to their card pool face down. So Kurama's thing in the first Dark Tournament, or in the first YuYu Hakusho set, was reversals. So if this character goes to retro with you, you can do some pretty unspeakable things by clogging your opponent's progressive on their own turn with that enhance, which is cool. And I like that it synergizes with Kurama's old cards. I think that that's pretty neat. And while I've seen him compared to Mineta, I don't know if that comparison really holds, because Kurama is going to be using his progressive clogging ability offensively to make his attacks difficult to block and maybe get options from those cards in the pool for other effects. So he's definitely a bit different than Mineta, much more aggressive version of that kind of effect. And on good, we could see things like Airstream Diver and other cards in Gran Torino's kit from Crimson Rampage. So all in all, Kurama is another cool character, and I think another design that I'm excited to play with, even though I am not the biggest Kurama fan or really all that knowledgeable about Kurama from the show. Master of Ice, it's a common that's another cool one. 2 difficulty, 2 mid block, the 5 control, response remove. After you block with this card, add 1 copy of Master of Ice from your discard pile to your hand. So this card, like the rest of Toya's kit, is on Order, Void, and Water. And one thing that Water has struggled with is having good blocks. So Water has all of these great defensive foundations, but has not historically had ways to leverage those foundations by just playing cards with efficient blocks. And this is about as efficient as it gets. Only 2 control, removing itself to get you another block that also has that same good modifier is pretty amazing for a control deck. So Master of Ice, if you are looking to block on those symbols, is a great option. All right. Anything else of note here? Another Armor of the Ape, another Elemental Advantage. Cursed Ice Breath. This is more in Toya's kit with the freezing. This attack lets you freeze a foundation. Your rival can discard a card to cancel the effect. So that is pretty spooky there. Freezing and discard are both powerful, but often you're going to be more interested in one or the other. So I think that your opponent having the choice is always awkward, but both of these effects are so strong that Cursed Ice Breath is an option I like. We have Desperate Slash. If you have 10 or less health, this attack gets -1 difficulty and +1 damage. And here this time we see Kuwabara taking the offense with his sword. This art is just incredible. And in the preview, it is just not obvious at all how amazing the Spirit Sword looks. I'm actually geeking out over this. And then as Enhanced Mill 3, this attack gets +1 speed and +1 damage for each foundation milled this way. So all in all, just an efficient 4-diff attack. Cool rare. We have Bui as our time shift. So another 5-hander coming back from the past to oh wait, no, this is our regular character. So this pack does not have a time shift because it has an XR. That's interesting. So Bui's big thing is form commit. Your next attack this turn gets +X speed and +X damage. X equals the number of your face down foundations. So this is pretty strong with Welcome to Spaceland, which came from the Cowboy Bebop set. Bui on Water can use this form to make the attack big, then make it unblockable, and poof, there it goes. So Bui is really good in that sense. He also has Enhance once per turn, your turn. Destroy 1 ready face-up foundation. Build the top 2 cards of your deck face down. And his kit interacts with this, which as a 5-hander is decent to help him ramp a bit, but he's still going to have a hard time on those first couple of turns. So We'll just have to see if we can weather the storm long enough to throw out that big unblockable and close out games. And now we have an XR Kuwabara, which is sick. Kuwabara is one of my favorite characters from the show that I've seen so far, and he's looking good here. In terms of strength of play, maybe not. But the art, banger. So he's a 5-hander, 33 health. And his responses, after your non-throw attack deals damage, build 1 foundation from your discard pile that shares 2 or more symbols with this character. So, like this kind-hearted we saw a little bit earlier, if Kuwabara can get that early damage in and start building, he's going to be a menace. He also has enhanced commit 1 foundation. This attack gets -1 damage. This enhance is playable any number of times this enhanced step. So once you have a big board, you can just say, your opponent's attacks don't even get to hit you. I don't care. I don't have to block. I'll block the ones I can and negate the rest, which is pretty good. And then he has enhance. If you have 15 or less health, your attack is +3 damage. So once he is in that desperation mode, then Kuwabara is in action and hitting hard. So the big difficulty on this card is that non-throw rider on his response. And there are a few cards that can help him get around that and cheat it a little bit. On Earth and Fire, Muscle Rush is actually one that I think has a lot of potential and probably is going to be one of Kuwabara's best cards to have early in the game. That has an enhance similar to Electric Jolts that if this attack is completely blocked, it still deals 1 damage. So Kuwabara being able to do that, automatically get his build and keep going is very strong. So we'll see. This is a character I know that lots of people are willing to experiment with because he's such a fan favorite, but the power level seems a little bit lower than some of the best characters in Dark Tournament. As we proceed. I see more shiny back there. I promise. So we have more of the same. Seen most of these before. In fact, almost all of them. Call of the Reaper with Shishi Wakamaru's kit. This says combo enhance, ready all cards committed to pass the check to play this attack that have not been ready this combat in phase. So this is another combo. This is a combo weapon, ranged in a weapon itself, 5 difficulty, 3 mid for 5, 2 block. But this is so cool because along with his form on his character, you can cheat progressive twice with this. If you have a few foundations left, it could let you play 3 more attacks in a string when it looks like you really should only be able to play 1. Just a very, very cool extension, and of course others can use it as well. Paying the cost, this is our brute strength replacement. We're going to be seeing this an awful lot in competitive decks. It has enhanced, lose 1 health, your attack is +1 damage. But unlike brute strength, the 4 control and 3 mid block are notably a bit worse. So if you want to get access to all of this damage, you're not going to have the destroy for damage outlet as well, and you have to pay for it in deck building. So cool change. Stuff. And then we have another Toya and our first secret rare, Darkness Dragon Prowess. So this is from Hiai's kit. I don't know if it comes through as well in the camera, but the eyes just light up extra red. It's delightful. But it's a 5 difficulty, 2 low block, 3 control. Good numbers. 4 high for 5. Enhance, lose 1 health. This attack is +2 damage. So you want to be losing the health, so it's basically a 4 high for 7 every time. It has enhance. This attack gains stun X. X equals the amount of health lost during this enhanced step, maximum of 3. So if you're using those other cards there, like Pay the Cost, you can get this up to be a stun 3, which, you know, is only really seen on cards that usually have a steep cost, like Rushing Stab, which is a 1 control. And this card does not have that. You just have to pay life, which is what Hiei is looking to do, and maybe other characters on Evil, Fire, and Void could be looking to do as well. And it has EX too. So late in the game, it's going to hit. And if your character is strong, then or has pump on the face, it will definitely hit. I'm also excited because it's another charge on Void, which means that combos with double jab pummel are coming back, and we will definitely see this there. So I really like this card. Looks great. Want to play with it. Secret rare. You can't expect to get a lot of them. There's usually one in a box. So no major complaints at all. All right. So we have our next pack coming up. We're a quarter of the way through. And so far, still looking about the same. Can mention 45% power. This is enhanced if your rival has 4 or more foundations. Draw 1 card. So 4 difficulty attack, 4/4. The main thing there is that it's with younger Togura's theme of kind of getting stronger and ramping up as your opponent gets more foundations. And just to touch on that, this set has a lot of pseudo deadlock. So I know one thing players were concerned about is that the deadlock keyword had seemed to disappear from this set. And instead of emphasizing it, they chose to try and introduce deadlock-like effects, but with different levers rather than a keyword. And I think that, having checks for different numbers of foundations your opponent has, or maybe on some more secret rares that we could see, you can see that the card's effect scale infinitely with the number of foundations your rival has. So some really elegant design choices there that get around the need for a deadlock keyword pretty cleverly. Again, Glimpse of the Past, another card in Genkai's kit that cares a lot about that block mod. And Pilot of the River Styx, our time-shifted card. Pretty cool. This is a synergy piece for Botan, who's another character that's returning. But Hiei himself, he on his own has the enhanced, lose 1 health. This guy has +1 or -2 speed, but who are those guys? We got Walk the Dog. So this card, I think, might be the most powerful in the set, and even if it is not the literal best card, I think will be one of the most meta-defining. So it's an 8 difficulty, 2 low block. That's a 6 low for 6. So those numbers seem bad, except, the damage and the block mod are great. The speed is great, but difficulty, not so much. It has this attack, it's -1 difficulty for each committed foundation in your rival's stage, max -4. So in the mid game or later, this is effectively a 4 difficulty, 6 low for 6, which is outrageous. But it also has enhance. Draw 1 card for each copy of Walk the Dog in your card pool. So the first one in a turn will replace itself. The second one will draw 2. If you can find ways to have more than one of these in your hand, I know that I've built around it with Nezu. My playgroup has built around it with Mimic. There are lots of characters that can leverage this. And man, the game states are wild. You just cannot play normally against this card and need to just build out and be so conservative against it. But if your opponent has kit like Rinkyu's, they can just force you to play into it anyways. And once the dog's walking, it's tough to stop. And now you might be thinking, wow, that's a lot. But we're not done. The card also is a ranged weapon, so pretty good. But it has stun 1 and powerful 3. So you're really not going to block the second one. And if they've got momentum to spare, it's going to hurt. So look out for Walk the Dog. Whether you play it or not, you will be seeing it a lot. But I'm glad I own one now. Haha. All right. Next pack. We continue. More of these. Anything else I want to talk about? And that poor Kuwabara here from those finger daggers. He is just getting beat up in so much of this art. It kills me. Ojiki Plant Strike is our rare. So enhance if this attack is not blocked, your rival loses 2 health. And enhance, discard 1 momentum, search your deck and discard for 1 copy of your starting character and build it. So that big Kurama support there can let you get one of those characters in there as a negate. And also is just kind of awkward zones, efficient numbers. And if you play this late in your string, you'll almost always have that character up on defense for you. Pretty good. Our retro time shift is the 3 Eyes of Hiei. Commit, your rival reveals 1 random card in their hand. Look at the top card of both decks. Change the zone of this attack. So gives you that information to play with. And once again, reinforcing that theme in Dark Tournament of control sort of over your deck and the randomness in the game. And the beautiful Suzuki himself is here. So he has enhanced, discard 1, draw 1, which is pretty neat. Being able to do that in every attack. Lots of card selection. He also has enhanced commit. You may try to block this attack with the top card of your discard pile. As a Kurogiri enjoyer, that really rubs me the right way. I deeply like that you can use his first enhance to basically maintain an extra card in your hand if that card in your discard pile is a block. And maybe your opponent can kind of choose to play around that, and if you discard a good block for their attack, they might hesitate a little bit to pump it up and could go in on the next one. And it sounds like Suzuki will make some fun games based on that. Then he also has this response Tenacious. After you take damage, ready this card, which means that he can do that whole block enhance again if the attack hits and keeps playing into that mind game, which is very cool. And I like cards that facilitate interaction between players in that way. Alrighty, on to the next one. Alrighty, perforation is not quite there on this guy, but we got it. Again, we have our commons, more beautiful Suzuki. The enormous axe here, this comes from Bui's kit. So after this foundation is destroyed, build the top card of your deck face down. So pretty cool for just keeping up pressure and ramping, since this doesn't lose you one when it's blown up. It's also on water, so characters like Inasa can use this as well. And it's just got a damage pump on commit. Really neat, uncommon piece of support. Poor Kuwabara, once again, getting his clock cleaned by Rinkyu. And we have a rare for younger Toguro. So this is another one of those foundation ramping effects. So you can destroy a rival foundation and make your rival build in their top 2 cards committed. So this is neat because it's selective removal that also can force your rival into deadlock or to hit those foundation thresholds, which is pretty sick. And then if your rival has 7 more foundations, the attack gets 2/2, and it's got Breaker. Just generally a great card, and selective destruction is always powerful. Our time shift card is Ore Strike. So this is a low, and it's a point of contention. Is Yusuke getting hit, high or low? And in a fighting game, if a move's ambiguous, it makes it powerful. So does Ore Strike meet the criteria? 2 control is always a red flag, but it's a 5 difficulty, 0 mid block, 4 low for 7, which are great numbers. It has Desperation 3. So this is a keyword that's returning here with these printings, and this means that the difficulty is 3 if you are below half health. So 3 diff, 4 low for 7, that's basically walk the dog, but what else does it do? It has Enhanced, draw 1 card for each card your rival has discarded this turn. So if you have Botan's kit, this can be drawing you 2 or 3 pretty easily. And then it has Deadlock Enhance, your rival discards 3 cards. So like I said, not a lot of deadlock, but there's some here and it's pretty strong. And if you can ever do that Deadlock Enhance, you've surely won the game. So we might see a bit Ore Strike, but tough one to evaluate. And then here, our character is Momotaro, and I had referenced this before, but his major mechanic is just taking advantage of getting that armor card and momentum earlier and being flexible. And one thing that is cool about him is that you can be flexible dependent on the matchup. So we'll have to see what the timing is for the rules for those before the game begins effects, but could be very, very cool in games 2 and 3 when you have more options to get cards. Right. Spirit Breaker, Genkai just throwing again and again, and poor Suzuki this time is on the receiving end. Kuwabara taking another kick to the face. And this time we have our time shift is High Spirit Awareness. So this has enhance rival's turn, flip, add 1 face down foundation from your stage to your hand. So it can let Kuwabara recycle foundations and find blocks. And as a Kuwabara response, discard one momentum. After a deadlock ability is played, cancel it, which is great for him because Kuwabara wants to just keep building and keep going and have the biggest stage possible. So really nice card. And hey, it's Genkai finally. So I won't go too in depth on Genkai, even though I do love this card because I've talked about her so much already. I think that's kind of moot. But her main enhances are that if your attack deals damage, reveal the top card of your deck. If it is an attack, add it to your hand. Basically, destines for mainstream success on every attack that deals damage. And if you're throwing, they almost all will. She also can discard a card to give or take away damage equal to the block modifier. So Genkai is just ultra consistent with throws and is so good. And now we have Urameshi Perseverance in the ultra rare slot. And this is the first alternate art, I believe. So this one says form, remove, discard 1 momentum. Oh no, this is the base art for this, I think. This is form, remove, discard 1 momentum, add 1 card from your discard pile to your hand. Tutoring is amazing, super powerful. Good has this a bit. Good can access this with Hawks, the Hawks card, Relaxed Demeanor. And there are other characters that can take advantage as well. Super strong. And then if you're a Team Urameshi member, you can commit. And if you have blocked and attack this turn, draw a card. So that first ability is really where you want to be. It also has a 4 block mod. So if you're playing good or all Genkai, you've got this. Just very strong once again. And I'll have to double check if that is the normal or alt art, because I think the alt art is the wanted poster, but I might be incorrect there. But boy, do both look good. All right. Keep cycling through these commons you've seen. The Power of Love. Kuwabara getting patched up after taking all of these beatings. And to commit to Seal, which is pretty nice on fire for Todoroki. Our reprint is Beast Summoning, another safe card. And this is pretty reminiscent of Relentless Barrage for Nomu from the first set, because you can lose 4 health to add a pile from the discard pile to your hand, or add a copy from the discard pile to your hand. If you have 30 more cards in your discard, you can ready a foundation with printed difficulty 3, 4, or 5 that has not been ready this combat phase. And has stun 1. So another Byakko synergy piece. We'll see how good this one is. And then, of course, we have Rinkyu. So Rinkyu just has a ramping speed enhance, and you can just generate momentum with his response. Cool character, and he's the one who brought us his yo-yos and walk the dog, and we thank Rinkyu for that. All right, as we're reaching the halfway point, I know it's probably a little disappointing to you in the audience that I don't have any chromes yet. We'll see if I can find one of those. I'm a little skeptical, but hey, you never know. Got a weapon clash here, so we can see the giant axe here from Bui coming down into Hiei. So you can blow up a foundation to reduce some damage and flip it to build the top card of your deck face down committed. Not too shabby. We have Aerial Recon. This comes from Botan's kit and is one of the time shifts. and it has flip. After your rival discards a card during the combat phase, look at their hand. You won't be using that one as much, but it has another response, which is once per turn tenacious. After your rival discards a card during the combat phase, ready this foundation. And with Botan support, this is extremely cool because you can do that effect both on your turn during your combat phase and your opponent's during theirs. So this foundation is just hyper efficient and very, very good to play if you are using any of Botan's cards with discard effects. And then our last is Chew. Chew is another one of our bulky five-handers. They came back in force to this set after barely getting any representation in Jetburn. So he's got Enhance if your non-throw attack deals damage. Commit and flip one rival foundation. So kind of like Kuwabara is strong if he can start getting the hits in, but needs some help doing that. Then he has a response before your rival's ready step. Draw X cards and discard down to your printed hand size. X equals the number of committed foundations in your rival's stage. So if your rival goes aggro on you or you're able to force them to block, Chew can have a full hand on defense and be essentially a 10-hander. So really, really difficult to see how opponents will, just build to the moon and not attack and sort of leave Chew hanging. But he does have an alternate win condition. So if you are in a knife fight with Chew and you bring a gun, you might lose. We'll see. We'll have to see if that alt win condition plays out to be as powerful as one could hope. But I can say that I'm a skeptic and I'd love to be proven wrong. All right, we'll go to the next pack here. Going with our commons. Back to the uncommons. We've seen most of these. Brief talk on Deadly Ruthlessness. This has enhanced check 4. If this attack deals damage, your next attack this turn gets +1 damage. So the check cost has come back. So check 4 means that when you use this enhance, you, as a cost, flip the card of your deck to try and check a 4. And like making any check, you need to either pass it to get the enhance, and if you somehow fail, then you won't. And check is really cool because it's kind of like mill, but also gives you opportunities to commit your foundations, get a card off the top. It's just very neat because rather than think of it as a cost, you can think of it as an additional upside on a lot of cards, and I think that this is one of them. Momotaro support there and the Steaming Sphere's power. Pretty cool. I wish that I knew what the Steaming Sphere was in the anime. I will look forward to getting there. And yeah, we got Massive Blow, even more Byakko support. This one is going to basically just help you flip opposing foundations and stun them out, but not a super premium card in Constructed. And we have our first retro reprint. This is Toguro Brothers. So this says action after you play this card, you may remove it or draw one. In response, after an ability is played on an asset or foundation, cancel its effects and destroy the card. So a little bit pushed for standard. Reason it's straight to retro, but boy, it looks super cool, super strong, and once again, the playgroup will be jealous. These rarities printings are also a bit interesting. I'm not quite sure if I've cracked the code on which card goes where and how certain rarities affect it, but these are some good packs. So thank you, UVS, for letting me be lucky today. As we continue here, Crowd's Darling. This is another big payoff for that Chaos Weapons package. This has first form, discard 1 momentum. Your checks to play weapon attacks get +1 for the rest of the turn. So if you are playing a character like Toga or Shishiwashimaru or Shishiwakamoru or anybody else that just wants to string out these weapons, Crowd's Darling is a necessity. All right. Shards of Winter, so more Toya. And yeah, pretty reasonable rare, but not one that is too exciting. Thunderous Roar for Byakko. So this is how he hits you. It says commit, your attack gets +1 speed for each of your rivals' face down foundations. Then if you have 30 or more cards in your discard pile, it gets an additional +1 speed for each of your rivals' face down foundations. I got to play with this one in my draft too, and I love it. Very excited. And Suzuki once again. All right. So, continue here. Tornado Fist, one of the good cards for Jin, who's a powerful character in the set. This says after this attack deals damage, discard it from your card pool or add the top card of your deck to your momentum. It's got flash, all things you love to see. It also has Void, so you can use this with a character like Edgeshot, really force some hard decisions from your opponent, and you gotta love that. Time Shift is 16 instant slashes. So this card has a cool Hiei enhance that if you have exactly 16 cards in your discard pile, this attack is unblockable. So pretty neat if you have ways to manipulate that. Character is the Elder Toguro. I think this is one of the most hyped characters for pretty much all formats. For standard, constructed, or standard, for draft, for sealed. Elder Toguro is looking good. He has a form once per turn, discard one non-foundation card, choose one attack in your discard pile, and try to play it as your next form. So pretty much at all times in the game, Toguro has access to his whole discard for attacks, and that flexibility is absurdly strong. It also doesn't even have to be flexibility. The attack doesn't remove after it's done, so you can just keep fetching the same great attack over and over again. If you're on evil, you can put the attack you need in the discard with relaxed demeanor and just keep getting it. Powerful. And then he has enhance. Switch this attack speed and damage. If it is your rival's turn, destroy one foundation. So it costs a bit of something on your rival's turn to swap their attack, but you get to do it to yours pretty much for free. And this does not say once per turn. That's messed up. Very, very strong character. And then for the younger Toguro, we've 100% power as the ultra rare. Wonder if he can go over 100%. It is anime. You never know. And this says enhance. If your rival has 6 or more foundations, this attack gets 5 more damage. And after you play the attack, if your rival has 10 or more foundations, you commit their character. Sweet. So got EX3. It is a 2 control, which is a bit worrisome, but 5 low for 5 with the X that does a ton of damage that Toguro can use, that the younger Toguro can use in a good way. Hey, we're down. Alrighty. And so we continue. Invincible body. The younger Toguro looks just absurd, and I love it. Just chonking Yusuke's punch. We have our Uratogi expertise. This is our Team Uratogi cards. You can see Momotaro, Shishiwashimuru, and the others there. This form commit, draw 1 card, only playable if you've played an attack this turn. So it can let you either extend or hedge in for defense. Then if you're a Team Uratogi, you can remove, build 1 foundation that shares 3 symbols with your character from your discard pile. So on this one, I will say I think that the Team Uratogi form is actually very, very strong. And letting these characters get their set pieces, or any character that shares 3 of the 4 symbols on this, notably this is Air, All, Chaos, and Void. So there are going to be a couple characters you could use this with that can fully take advantage of that effect. I think all the team members should. So we'll see how it goes. And Time Shift is protecting Yukina. Discard 1 momentum. After you block with this card, the blocked attack deals no damage. It's only a 1 mid block, so this is our pretty good throw hate that also can be blown up to add a card to your momentum. Really, really good card. Not the most obviously powerful thing, at least I think a lot of players might just pass that over, but really consider it. It's a good card with lots of options. Okay, as we go in here, we have the Iden box. This rare is Loopy. We have enhanced commit. Return this attack to its printed speed and damage. Return to its printed attack zone. If it was unblockable, it's no longer unblockable. So this card says, hey, if your opponent's pumping and you have this asset, no. You have to go back. Really, really powerful defensive tool. Genkai's training is our time shift. Very neat. And then we have Yusuke, the team leader, the protagonist himself. So Yusuke pretty much pumps all of his attacks that share symbols with him, which is neat. And then he can commit and discard one card to play a card with the word spirit in its name from his discard pile. And then it will remove when it clears. So, or excuse me, it will remove when it leaves your card pool. So yeah, when it clears, or just if you kick it in some other way. So Yusuke, once again, sort of having that consistency. We keep seeing it over and over again, this theme of deck manipulation. And in Yusuke's case, the discard. And just being able to get those tools that say spirit over and over. All right. And here we go again. 75% mark. We're almost there. Keep going with these. Team Dr. Ichagi. We have another cancel effect, but this one is remove and on an asset, so a little more costly to run in a deck, but can take care of that big enhance if you need to, and hey, we like these in water. Surprise daggers. Poor Kuwabara just gets wrecked again and again. Rare. We have Koenma's Task. So this is a cool reprint. I actually opened this one in my draft and got to trade it for the Rando Spirit Gun. This has form, remove, name a card, search your deck for all copies of the named card and add them to your hand. Then name another card, search your rival's deck for all copies of the named card, and remove them. Only playable if there is at least one copy of Koenma's Task in both your discard pile and removed from game. So basically you have this little quest to get this card discarded, get this card removed, and get one in your hand to play. And if you can do that, this is amazing. You can draw and fill your hand with copies of a card. Wonder if there's an order attack like Walk the Dog that might be good to have in multiples with Koenma's Task. You can do that. And it also can be like an effect that just clears your opponent's board or clears your opponent's deck of a particular problem card. And if you're thinking about Magic the Gathering, there might be some cards in that game that this could remind you of, but with the proactive side of it, a much more feasible main board plan. Just as long as you have ways to remove your discard, Koenma's Task should definitely be a bit of a late game bomb. Running out of space in the playmat here, so we'll just have to stack. The Roku Yukai Huddle. So we got Rinkyu, we got Chu, and somebody else. This is commit, discard one momentum, mill 3. Add one stun attack, mill this way to your hand. So some potential draw, a little bit of milling. And then the response is after your rival commits one or more foundations due to your effect, this attack is +1 damage. So this one is another where I think that response is a little bit more impactful than the enhanced, but still very good. The Dark Tournament looms as our time shift. Enhance remove. Add one card from your momentum to your hand. Draw a card. That's messed up. We like this guy. We're going to play this quite a bit. Then Jin, who is one of the neatest characters, despite not having an enhance, and is super powerful. He has Tenacious, mill 1 as a response. After an attack is played, it gets +2 or -2 speed instead. Or it gets +2 or -2 speed. If you milled an attack this way, it gets +3 or -3 speed instead. So giving every attack 2 or 3, or the inverse of that for speed is super strong, but that's not all. He also has commit. After your rival plays an enhance ability on an attack, that attack is less than its printed speed, cancel its effects. So your rival has to go through all this effort to pump up their attack, and if they don't, you could just say no if they wanted to benefit from the attack's enhance ability. Jin is very strong and very mean. We like Jin. Sorry, I like canceling things. It's a bad habit, but what can you do? All right. Have our commons once again. We have another Kurama. Mop Strike in the time shift spot. This card is great as a Nezu main. It sparks joy. So it has enhanced, discard one card. Your rival discards one random card. Both players draw one. And then if your rival has discarded a card this turn, draw a card. Desperation 3 as well. So it's only a 3 diff instead of 4. And boy, this is so good in Nezu. It basically says discard 1, draw 3 on such a low check. Really, really cool on the order version of that deck, and it's just really good for most characters. So play it if you can. We have Kurama, and of course, the Knife Edge Deathmatch. So we have found our alternate win condition for Chu. So this has enhance if you took damage last turn. This attack gets +4 damage. And then if this attack is not blocked and your rival has 8 or more committed foundations, you win the game. So if you can find a way to beat Chu and get this 5 mid with stun 1 through, then you're just winning in that late game scenario. So maybe with Zeru's Flames or something else, there's a way to commit your opponent out, but it is not easy for Mr. Chu. So we'll see if he can build around that to success. Right. Oh, cool. We got in our slot here, we have I'm old Yusuke, classic meme. Spirit Detective is one of our reprints. So this is good support with Yusuke here. Remove one card from your discard pile with the word spirit in its name. And lets you cancel. So one time cancel and enhance on an attack, pretty nice. And then it has commit after the second copy of an attack is played this turn, seal it. So if your opponent's using attack multiple times, you don't even have to remove it. You can just essentially cancel preemptively. Then we have an XR Botan, which is very cool. She has enhanced your attack. Your rival discards one random card and draws one card. So that lets you turn on Aerial Recon, mess with your rival a bit, force them through their deck. And after your attack deals damage, gain 2 health, your rival loses 1. So good with throws, good with low commitment attacks, and just generally can be a nuisance if your rival is trying to sculpt a hand to kill her. All right, just want to make sure there that I don't get these mixed up. Alrighty. So here we have a Rapid Speed Slash as our retro reprint. We have seen all of these. Kuwabara as our character, and Double Tornado Fist is our ultra rare. So this is Jin's prize piece of support. Has Echo, and can let you draw. Gets increased damage. Its speed can't be reduced below printed. Just gross. All right. 2 more packs here. We're almost done. Please give me one more soapbox UVS. I'm going to miss this when it's over. Botan's Coaching. So this is a really awesome rare, and I think this is probably the best Zero Diff foundation from this set. So 3 mid block, which isn't great, 5 control, which is, and it has enhanced flip. Both players discard 1 and draw 1. So can be a bit dangerous on defense, but is a way to help you dig for a block and can ready your aerial recons. And on offense, lets you find more attacks and can enable payoffs like Ore Strike. Coaching sick. Hiding in plain sight is our time shift, and our character is the younger Toguro. So muscles are popping. He's got once per turn. After your attack resolves, build it face down. your rival builds the top card of their deck. So forces both players to kind of build out into that long game that Togoro's cards care about. And then enhance, your attack is plus X damage. X equals half the number of foundations in your stage, rounded down. So once you get up to 4 foundations, that's plus 2 damage. And when those numbers get bigger, beyond that, it is very, very difficult to manage. All right, last but not least, the final pack. Our usual suspects for commons. Genkai Spirit Gun for rare. So we've seen the shotgun before, but this is the Spirit Gun. So this says this attack is not completely blocked. Add 1 card from your discard pile to the top of your deck. And as we know with Genkai's response, if it's an attack, you just get to scoop it up, which is pretty nifty. And then a Genkai Enhance, change this attack's zone to high or low. It's get powerful 3, 6 speed by default. Spirit Gun is going to be a big block check for your opponents, and if they can't block it, they're probably going to take a big hit. Like both from this and the attack after, which it's great. Hatefish, our final time shift. Enhanced, double the next speed or damage bonus this attack receives. Only playable if this card is immediately preceded by an attack or face down card, which makes sense. This is a mechanic from Rando's kit in the original YuYu Hakusho and returns with this card. And then it has, if your rival is at desperation, this attack is plus 2 speed. So if your rival's below that half health line, this is very speedy. And it can combo both enhances together in some cases. So you could end up just with a 5 low for 7 if your opponent is weak. And then we have Bui. But with that, we have finished our Dark Tournament pack opening. If you're watching this, thank you. Enjoy your weekend. And it will be my birthday today on the day that this goes up. So thank you for, what I can only call a bit of a birthday present to give me the chance to go through all of these super cool cards and get to talk about them. And I hope that you enjoyed this. Just as a reminder, if you are going to attend a release event that you find on playuvsgames.com, you can use that code AmberFlight Gaming or DankestDad to get those 50 LP. And really, I hope you do. The community for this game is awesome. I have only great things to say about the HLC, and it's just been a blast the whole way through. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.